Hello and welcome to another episode of The Journey with Ammar Sheikh on Canada One TV. Every person's life has a story, some told, some untold. Today we'll unfold one of those, keeping it raw, real, and inspiring. Every immigrant's story is a testament to courage, a leap of faith into the unknown, driven by dreams that refuse to fade. Today we have a remarkable individual whose path reminds us that reinvention is the heartbeat of success. We have Asad Khan on our show, a foreign qualified dentist from Pakistan who made Canada his new home in 2019. With resilience and vision, Asad transformed his path from dentistry to immigration consulting, becoming a licensed Canadian immigration consultant in 2021. He is the founder of Innovative Visa Solutions, a firm dedicated to helping newcomers build their future in Canada. But Asad's story doesn't stop there. He's also a dynamic entrepreneur, running a used car dealership, an auto studio, and a short-term rental business that supports immigrants as they find their footing in the new land. Through his ventures and community impact, Asad has become a trusted voice and helping hand for countless newcomers across Canada. Join us to explore his inspiring journey, as I have named the episode From Dentistry to Destiny. Please welcome Asad Khan. Assalamu alaikum and welcome on the show, Asad. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for taking time out. I know you are always swamped with work.
Yeah.
How are you? How are things?
Good. Business good. Life is good. Alhamdulillah.
Great, great. Asad, I know I have already given you a brief of how we conduct the show. It's about, from my side, that's a tribute to my people who have been giving back to the community, who have achieved something in their lives. And I really wanted to have you over on the show.
No, I'm grateful for the opportunity. Thank you.
Perfect. Asad, we'll start with your early days. How was your childhood like? Where are you from? And how were your early days?
Well, back in Pakistan, I've lived a major part of my life, especially past teenage, in Karachi. But because I come from a military background, my father used to be in the army. So I, lived across Pakistan. Done my schooling mostly in military schools, and then I did dentistry, like you said, in Pakistan before I came to Canada. I was a teaching as in practicing dentist before I came to Canada, and then so I've had a very diverse background across Pakistan as well, and that's why probably Canada suited me, because I've lived across Pakistan, met people from all backgrounds, and that kind of helped me shape my life here in Canada as well. Since I came to Canada, obviously things have been different. I've not practiced dentistry, and then I transitioned into immigration consultancy, and I focused on growing my businesses and keeping them focused on immigrant-friendly businesses or immigrant-centered businesses.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically about my early days in Canada or in my life.
Okay, perfect. No, that's brilliant. Tell me more about your childhood and your early days as a student. I know you were a dentist back then, but I want to know before that.
Well, I've been a pretty active student, very involved in extracurricular activities as well as sports. I'm a big sports lover. I love football and Formula One and all these sports. So I've been very active throughout my early school days. I've been a very decent student all my life. My parents didn't have to worry about too much about studies and all. So yeah, and I've had an inclination towards medicine, because there was no doctor in our family for 4th generation. So it has always been a wish for me to fulfill that wish of my parents, that I'll be the first one in the whole family to do that. So I've been very focused on my education in the early days from the beginning, but I've always made sure that I keep certain extracurricular activities in my life to offset all that stress of education that comes with it.
No, that is perfect. Excellent. Any challenge while growing up, be it from studies or where you were residing or otherwise?
Well, of course, like I said, because I come from a military background, the biggest challenge you see as a as a young kid is you don't have constant friends. That is something that I realized when I finally moved to Karachi after like I would say 10 or 12 years of my life, when most of my friends had constant friends all their life and they were in the same school throughout their life, whereas I had to move schools or cities every other year. But that comes in, as a parcel with the military background. So, early days, I think the biggest challenge was not having constant friends early in the life. But then it helped me shape, my life in a way that I've been very social. It has been very easy to make friends, get used to new places and, get adjusted to new environments pretty easy. But yeah, overall, I think that was the biggest challenge, that you didn't have friends that you know from very early days in your life. However, I moved to Karachi when I was in grade 5, and then so far after that I was in one particular school from grade 8 onwards, so I had very good friends from back home, and thankfully most of them now have moved here, so it's something that not everybody could say, but I've been lucky that my friends, especially some of my very close friends from college, now in Canada with me. So that's something that I really am happy for.
And that is excellent. So happy to hear that, because a lot of people, especially in Canada, are still unable to find the right people to hang out with, right?
Yeah,
you have to have the social
that is
backing with you all the time, because not a lot of people have their families over here, and these kind of challenges are definitely there. No, thank you so much for the early days background. And while growing up, or while studying, what was one aim after you became a dentist? That what did you want to do really in Pakistan?
Well, honestly, coming from a military background, there's one thing. My father was really focused on making sure that I pursue a career that is either in medicine or engineering. So I didn't have a lot of options to explore, even though I wanted to. I was very inclined towards filmmaking or something like that, but I didn't have that opportunity. But then, if I had to choose between these two and either going into the military, I did try to go into the military, to be honest, just to fulfill my dad's wish, but unfortunately it didn't work out for me. But then I thought, if not that, I was going to be a medical doctor in the military first, to be honest. But that didn't work out. And then I thought, what, I'm going to pursue privately a career in medicine. And then I chose dentistry because it excited me. And I enjoyed that for a few years before I came to Canada. But yeah, I knew when I didn't have much choices to go with, I knew that I would either go into the military to fulfill my dad's wish or choose medicine to fulfill my mom's. So I didn't choose, look at multiple options, and I was pretty focused on choosing one of these two options early in my college days.
Brilliant. Okay, so mostly you have lived in Pakistan, and then what brought you to Canada?
Well, that is, so it was a sudden change of plans, to be honest. So all my maternal family lives in US for 30 plus years.
Okay.
Except for my mother, because of my father's military background, we didn't go to US early in the days. And then once, my family sponsored my mom, like my grandparents sponsored my mother, it took them over almost close to 2 decades to get to the point where they'll get, their immigration visa to US. But it had been so long that by the time our immigration came through, 3 of my siblings out of the 4 were not eligible because we had crossed the 21 years of age barrier.
Right. Yes.
And that is one thing that kind of ignited the interest in immigration to me, because we were not aware of what we could have explored earlier in our careers, just because we didn't explore immigration or didn't do research. That was something that I noticed was common in Pakistan. So, the US immigration setback kind of changed my course of my life altogether, because I was certain, I've lived with my parents and my siblings all my life, and all of a sudden I was at a point where half my family was going away to a different country, and me and my elder sister or younger sister were left behind. And it was a big change, especially because I just graduated from university, so everything's pretty new, you're exploring your life. So that was something that became a turning point in my life, and I kind of started self-exploring my options of how I'm going to go closer to my parents, because obviously I wanted to be as close as possible to my parents, because it was certainly a point where I wanted to do something for them now.
Of course,
and the fact that I'm going to be so far away, and that too in Pakistan. If it was vice versa, where I was in US and they were in Pakistan, maybe I could have done something for them financially or whatever, but it was a different situation, so I had to quickly adjust. Also because I had to get married to my wife, and that was something that I had to figure out quickly as well because of changing immigration situations. It was something I wasn't sure was going to happen, so I had to quickly explore options for myself. So yeah.
Okay. No, that's very nice. So coming to Canada, so how did that shift happen? You have already mentioned that you were ignited by getting into the immigration thing, but why didn't you not pursue dentistry?
So, well, I was pretty sure I will not be able to do that. The reason being, I've been very realistic in all my approaches since I came to Canada, and I tell this to everybody. I don't keep, I'm not very optimistic in everything that I think of. I keep it very realistic, to be honest. My wife's a dentist too, and so am I. So I knew transitioning into a dental career, one of us would have to sacrifice our dental career because you have to pay your bills, you have to settle in as an immigrant. So I knew early on that I'm going to transition. Plus I had always, while I was even a dentist in Pakistan, I had certain businesses that I was doing on the side as a side hustle in Pakistan. So I knew I had an entrepreneurial thing in me that I wanted to do something beyond just dentistry. So early on in my career here in Canada, I decided I wouldn't pursue dentistry. I would let my wife take care of that part, and she would pursue it. So that is what kind of ignited my plans to go into business and change the course of my career completely. Immigration became a focus because, like I said, I did my entire process myself when I was coming to Canada. And not only that, since I was a dentist, I was surrounded with doctors and dentists all day. And while I was doing my own process, I was helping a lot of my other colleagues come to Canada too. And everybody was trying to motivate me that, you've been helpful with us. Why don't you take this as a career?
Right.
And then I came here in July 2019. By February, March, we had that lockdown. And, luckily I had just signed up for the educational program for the licensed consultants. So that helped me finish my schooling for the immigration consultancy. And I think it was fate that was taking me this way, and I just went with the flow then.
All right. And I see that you have both venturing style and also you are a people's person. I've seen you at a few events taking care of a lot of people's questions. It's not easy. You have to have the thing that you feel for others, and you really have to have the wish to help them out.
Yeah,
I think that's the only way you can become a consultant or an advisor per se.
That's true.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Asad, for the questions. And on that note, we'll be taking a short break. We are exploring the journey of Asad Khan, an immigration consultant and a fantastic entrepreneur. Be right back. Welcome back to the journey with Ammar Sheikh on Canada One TV. We are exploring an entrepreneurial side of a dentist from Pakistan, Mr. Asad Khan. Asad, I hope you were able to get some water break.
Yeah.
Yeah, Asad, it's going great. Thank you so much for all your answers, be it your childhood and your student time. I want to discuss about your immigration thing. Immigration in Canada as a business or as a topic has been pretty volatile.
Yeah.
People have been talking about either in good ways or bad ways, but it's always in the topic. So what do you want to say about the immigration today in Canada?
Well, I know a lot has changed in the last, I would say, 20 months. That is possibly because our economy is kind of linked to immigration, It depends on immigrants coming in. But I've seen, because I've been associated with the business, it goes in like 2-year patches where they're bringing in a lot of people for 2 years, then they put a stop. That's what they did, like until between 2017 to 2019, if you notice, a lot of people came in.
Yeah.
But that was like the good part of immigration, when actually well-educated people were coming in. And then when COVID hit and they had to close doors, from 2019 to 2021, basically, there was a big pause, and they were trying to just, get through permanent residencies for people already in Canada to fill in the gaps, in the economy and all that. However, post 2021, like especially September 2021, when they announced the new TRV policy, when they were approving TRVs in 30 days or less, That's when I think things went wrong, because almost everybody came in, and they were focused on bringing in people from one specific region, South Asian mostly, and I think that's when negative sentiment started to come in, from people within Canada as well. Since September 2021 to, I would say, October 2023, we let almost everybody come in without proper checks, and no check and balance in making sure that we are getting skilled immigrants. And I think that's the only point where immigration went wrong for Canada, because before that we were actually bringing one of the best brains of the world through express entry and other skilled immigration pathways. I think that's when resentment started coming in within Canadians too, because I'll be honest with you, I'm an immigrant. People are very welcoming, especially they were until 2021, 2022.
Yeah.
And they welcome you to their communities very open-heartedly, but the resentment is there because now the people that have come in the between 2021 to 2023, a lot of them have not adopted to Canadian culture. And I believe that is important. When you come to a country, you got to value their culture, give them respect, and adopt their culture as well as their language and stuff. Now I've seen post October 2023, when they changed the immigration minister and Mark Miller came in, I saw some really aggressive policy changes. And even though it's bad for the business, I'll be honest with you, but I think it's good for the country, because we needed to bring some strict measures in place to make sure that we're not just letting in everybody into the country. Now we are coming to a 2-year point where everything has been on a pause or very controlled.
Yeah.
So I believe that post January 2026, things will start to open up again, and immigration will again take a big jump, especially because after they cut down on students and all that, a lot of educational institutes have had budget issues. They have cut down on jobs and stuff, and with the tariff situation, I think they will have to increase immigration to bring in inflow of money and reignite the economy.
Right.
But I think the better way to go about it would be if they put a cap on certain nationalities. They can let people come in, and then put caps on certain nationalities, like you can't have more than certain amount of people coming in from a particular country. That way we'll still make sure that the diversity that Canada saw before would be there. Immigration would be fair for everybody, and people would still be welcomed into the community, and we'll still be able to bring in the best brains from the world. And that's what kind of makes Canada beautiful, right? People from all backgrounds and all cultures come in, and it's a perfect blend, or it used to be, and I think they're focused on making that happen again.
Okay, no, that's an excellent point, and like you rightly said, the diversity is the key, and that's how Canada has been so much beautiful for a lot of people. And I think in today's time, it's most to do with the economy, and it's not just Canada. Globally, it's been a recession has been hitting a lot of countries, and so as with Canada. Thank you so much for that answer. Asad, what has been your proudest moment so far?
Well, I would say becoming a dentist was a very important achievement in my life, because that was one of my parents' strong wish, and being one of the child that fulfilled that was a very big achievement for me. Coming to Canada and becoming something, alhamdulillah, has been a proud achievement for myself too. That is because it's not easy, especially when you come in. I came in when I was 26. I was married only 21 days before I came, so it was a new beginning, a new life, being a married person in a new country. So I explored and learned from my mistakes with my wife when we came in as new immigrants. So I took up this journey with my wife, and I think it was a very proud achievement for me, that not only for myself but my wife, that we became something with our own hard work, obviously with the support of our friends and family and our parents' wishes and prayers. But we've done our hard work. And another thing that I'm very proud of is I try to make sure that whatever struggles I went through, none of my friends and family that are coming into the country will have to go through. And I think that is something that I saw a lot of people lack before. They wanted people that from their friends or family or their previous background that came in, they want to make sure that people go through the exact same struggle that they went through. But I think the better way would be if you ensure that there are new people that are coming in don't have to struggle the way you did. You got to make an easier pathway for your friends and family, at least, if not for the greater community. So I think that with my businesses, I've been at least I try to make a difference in a way that whoever I can help come in and make their life easy, make informed decisions about things that I didn't do rightly when I came in. I think I'm very proud of the fact that people trust me with my advice because of the fact that they know it's going to be a genuine advice and based
100%.
out of, you know, my own experiences.
No, I can vouch for that on my personal level as well. Thank you so much for that answer. And Asad, since you're talking about giving back to the community, and that's a very integral part of my show, that we talk about not just the achievements or your hardships or your challenges, but about what have you given back to the community, to the society, to your people, Canada in particular. So what do you want to say about that?
Well, like I said, you know, I'm not very, I wouldn't say I'm doing something in charity, but I try to do the best I can in terms of an advisory way, I would say. With my business, obviously, a lot of people that come to Canada through my business become associated with me for over 12 to 24 months because of how long the process generally is.
Right.
And I build a personal relationship with them and I understand their financial struggles or their personal stories. So when they come here, I try to accommodate them in a way that, you know, when they're transitioning to a new country, because I'm an immigrant myself, I understand how tough it could be. I think this is my way of giving back to the community, that I try and make the transition as easy as possible, or at least, you know, as smooth as possible. A lot of times people call me and they say that, you know, when they reach out to me after a very long time, they tell me that, you know, you might feel bad that we only reach out to you when we need help. And I tell them it's actually a good thing that whenever you need help, you call me, because that is also a very big thing when people remember you when they need certain kind of help, right? So that means they trust you. So I think being someone who can advise them genuinely is my giving back to the community, to be honest. I try to be very balanced in my advice and try to help out whoever I possibly can, at least in whatever experiences I have through my businesses or my immigration knowledge. A lot of times people are struggling through a lot of serious issues here in immigration because, you know, everybody has a different background. Not everybody has a very smooth transition into the country. So I try to help out wherever I can by giving them a genuine advice or easing their problem. I would say that is my way of giving back to the community.
No, that's a brilliant way of giving back to the society or the community, and you're doing it, I think, to the max of your capacity. Asad, who has been your inspiration throughout your journey so far?
Well, I would say I take inspiration from my father. Unfortunately, he's no longer here, but I know he was a self-made man, and he gave everything he could possibly for his family. So that's what I'm trying to do. You know, I learned a lot from him. I think whatever I am is because of him. So I take a lot of inspiration from him. You know, in the fact that he devoted his life to his wife and kids and his father. He lost his mother pretty early in his life. But yeah, and his siblings, he loved his family, to be honest, and I think he centered his life around that. I try to do that too. My life revolves around my family and my friends. I give a lot of value to my friends as well. I think they are my extended family. So yeah, I try to take inspiration from my father. You know, and my father always used to be a very courteous man. So I try to make sure that I'm that. So whenever someone sees me, he can reflect that, you know, I'm his son. Yeah, that's...
No, that's a beautiful thought, and I think you're a true representation or an extension of your father. I can truly say that. Asad, what advice want to give to your younger self?
To my younger self, I would say take it easy. I've been a very serious man from young age. So if I could go back, I would say I would take a little break. I've been very...
Take it easy, buddy.
Yeah, I've been very focused or very serious throughout my life from college days. I would say give yourself a little break, you deserve it. But yeah, other than that, you know, I think I'm pretty happy with my journey. I won't change much.
Okay, no, that's excellent. One last thing would be, before I ask you to give some message to the audience, how do you want to be remembered? I have a very keen interest of understanding how do people see the legacy, because I'm a man who would want some legacy, that if I'm not here, how would people remember me, not just on monetary terms or what I've given back, but maybe, like you said about your father, as my kids become my reflection or whatever little I'm trying to do in my personal capacity. What is your mantra on that?
Well, I'll say two things. Money motivates me for sure. That is something that keeps me going. I don't think of it as a bad thing. because I think I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a serial entrepreneur, so it motivates me to work harder. That's one thing. So I don't take it as a bad thing for myself. If it keeps me motivated, it keeps me motivated. So I want to be remembered as someone who kind of changed the course of the next generation. I want to be the person who changed the course of my next generations. And number one. Number two, I would say I want to be remembered as a good friend, or a person who people could, have a good time with. They could relax or take a good advice from. So I'm a people person. I'm sure you know that too. I like networking with people, getting to talk to new people. So I want to be remembered as a good friend or a good advisor, plus someone who, went beyond what everybody expected it to be. So I'm working hard towards that. I have a lot of personal motivation in my life. I keep myself personally motivated, and I use that as a, I challenge myself every day to do better and do more. And I want to be remembered as someone who did beyond what everybody could have imagined of him doing for himself.
Absolutely. No, I can certainly say that. You always take an extra mile for your friends and for your people. Asad, we are towards the end of the show, and I would request you if you have a few words to say for my audience, please, on this time.
Yeah, for a lot of people that are coming into the country now, especially in the last 6 to 12 months, I know I'm speaking to a lot of new immigrants, and I see people are worried, jobs are not easy, everything's more costly, and people are thinking whether they made the right switch about, changing so much in their life, all of a sudden coming to a new country, especially at a time like this where inflation is high, adjusting to a new life is not easy. Take it from me, I'm an immigrant myself. I would say, and I always say this to everybody, this is not a 100-meter race, it's a marathon. So you gotta run slow, but you gotta run long, and you'll do well. This country is built on a system where they integrate immigrants in a way that, by the time you integrate and become a citizen and get completely immersed into the society, a new batch of immigrants is coming in. So take it as a marathon, run slow, but keep running, and you'll do good. Don't give up too easy. And number one. Number two, I would say, try to integrate into the society. You'll do better if you're well integrated. Take up a skill. Don't worry about what others are going to say. A lot of people from our community don't go into trades and all that stuff. I always say, look around you and try and understand this is not back home. This is a different society. People don't judge you based on your career, as long as you can do well. Focus on what you think is going to be right for you. Try to engage with people from the community, business owners, other people, and try to learn. There's no harm in learning at this age, because you took a very big step in coming to a new country at a certain age. When you come into a country at 30 or 40, you're already challenging yourself, because it's not easy to give up on everything that you've built for 3 or 4 decades of your life and come to a new country and start fresh for your family. So don't give up. You've done the hard part. Now just keep running, keep pushing, and you will definitely do better, inshallah.
Excellent, Asad. Thank you so much for your valuable words. I'm sure everyone has been inspired by your words, by your experience, and simply being my friend and also a serial entrepreneur. I really appreciate you taking time out and being on the show. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, as Asad mentioned about taking extra mile, doing the right thing for a long time instead of rushing out, I would recommend and say that dreams don't end when borders begin. They simply find new directions. So as Asad's mantra, find new directions, don't stop in one place, and stay positive, stay open, and try to be around for your people. On that note, I'll be signing off. You were watching The Journey with Ammar Sheikh. We'll be coming back with another episode, with another inspiring story. Till then, take care of yourself.